All right, welcome to the April 15th. Oh my God, not the April 15th, the May 15th Justice Coalition class and meeting. We want to thank Brother Cody here, an activist, for letting us use his premium Zoom account. We are what's called a organization that promotes revolutionary unionism. This is a phrase inspired by the industrial workers of the world, and it means to take power from our employer and the politicians through direct action at work and democratically control our unions. By doing so, we can dismantle the service and transactional model of business unionism, which has neutralized our power for over 50 years. We have a lot of resources for you at the Justice Coalition. Of course, we have a website, and that's where this agenda is. So if you want to follow along, you go to chicagotransitworker.com. Page will load. You'll see this button that says CTJC meetings, and then look for the date, and there's your agenda, and it will pop up right here like this. And the Google Docs makes it easy. The Google Docs app makes it easier to view on your phone if you're using a phone. We got YouTube, we got a Google Calendar. Please subscribe to this Google Calendar. You will get reminders for all Local 241 and Local 308 meetings. And you will also get reminders for Justice Coalition meetings. We have Twitter, we got Facebook, got a cool organizing websites you should check out. Let's do some introductions. My computer's hanging up. Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so my computer froze momentarily, but let's get some introductions. Introduce who you are, your name, where you work, and keep it brief, please. Go ahead, let's start with April.
I'm April Glenn, a former bus operator, started at Kedzie to Forest Glen in 77. I was discharged December 3rd, 2020. Started March 2015.
Unjustly discharged.
Unjustly, yeah.
Yeah, let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, April, for being with us. We hope you can keep being with us, and let's fight to get you and all the others back.
Okay.
Tom Colangelo.
Good afternoon. Tom Colangelo, Forest Glen Garage.
Thank you, Tom. And we got Willette. She's online. It's working. Maybe. Oh. Willette, can you unmute yourself? Let's see if I can do it. I saw you there for a minute. No. Okay. All right. Well, if you get it right next time, just tell us. Willette's been a CSA, customer service assistant, part-time for almost coming on up to 9 years. And she and others. Oh, I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, great. Yes, I'm Willette Lucas, CSA. I will have 9 years in less than a month, June 10th. And it's really just enslaved wages.
40 hours. Did you pick 40 hours?
And you know what? The reason I did, because I'll tell you that when we pause, but yes, I did.
Yeah. A lot of CSAs did it, you know.
Yeah, but I still want to tell you when we pause.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Not that you did it, but you know, it's just
No,
terrible.
it's disgusting any way you look at it.
Yeah, but you got to do what you got to
do. Yeah, I had to give up something to get that.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's terrible. You got to live, and it's sickening.
Absolutely.
How you and the other part-timers are being taken advantage of. It's just sick. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump into our lesson. So I'm gonna mute everybody, and then just unmute yourself if you have a question or something. So the first part we always discuss is union worker history. And in 1911, there was a huge walkout in the year 1911 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this is an audio thing, so I'm gonna share the sound for this program, and it's going to start. If you don't hear anything, it's going to start right now. If you don't hear anything, just unmute yourself and say, I don't hear it, but you should hear it. It's just going to be 2 minutes.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1911. This marks the day that more than 4,000 furniture makers walked off the job in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Furniture making was a key industry in Grand Rapids, which was proud of its nickname, Furniture City. In 1881, furniture company owners formed the Furniture Manufacturers Association in order to deal with labor as a united front. Later, the FMA became simply known as the Employer Association. At its peak, the Employer Association employed 1 in 3 workers in the city, giving it powerful leverage over wages, hours, and working conditions. The workers' demands for improved working conditions, better wages, and the right to form a union fell on deaf ears as the association refused to bargain. The resulting strike impacted nearly 50 factories. As the strike wore on, the number of striking workers rose above 7,000. Most were German, Polish, and Scandinavian workers. Dutch workers were warned not to go out on strike by the leadership of the Christian Reformed Church, who told their congregants not to join a union. Some chose to obey the church's warning, while others joined the strikers. When one company attempted to bring in strikebreakers, a crowd gathered to keep them from entering the plant. Many in the crowd were wives of strikers. Some even brought their babies to the line. They hid rocks under their long skirts and hurled them to keep the scabs from entering. Finally, the strike ended in August. Many of the strikers never regained their jobs, and few of the workers' demands were ever met. In 2007, a statue entitled The Legend of the Spirit of Solidarity was constructed, featuring a woman, a Dutch Protestant worker, and a Catholic immigrant worker. The president of the Communication Workers of America, Local 4034, explained, the aim of the statue was to educate future generations about the role labor people played in the establishment of the city. Labor History in 2 brought to you by the Illinois Labor History Society and The Rick Smith Show.
All right. So what you got to hear from this presentation, I'm sure a couple things went through your mind, maybe something that reminded you of something we're going through now, or something else with other workers. What kind of feelings and thoughts came up? Just unmute yourself and speak your mind.
I'm going to speak. This is April.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the thing about striking and people, what was the purpose of the strike when nothing was accomplished? The thing that stood out to me was that when you vote, you can't vote and then walk away and hope for the best. You have to stand firm. You have to treat your oppressors like you treat your children when they're misbehaving. You grab them by the back of their neck and you turn them where you want them to go. You don't walk away, because it's all in vain. You have to finish it through, and you have to stand on that so that it's complete and it stays complete and it's never broken again.
Yeah, that's really good. I agree.
Yeah,
Anybody else? So one thing that came to my mind was solidarity among the community that the workers come from. The wives of these strikers, these are family members. Nowadays, men and women are working, like 2, 3, 4 jobs and stuff. But it's really important that our community understand what we're going through as workers at the CTA, and that they support us when we take action, whatever actions we do, whether it's a protest or, you know, we organize any other kind of action, strikes, etc. Right now, in a couple days, I don't think it's today, I think it might be tomorrow, on the freight railroad side, wives are getting together, meeting in I believe Iowa, to support their husbands at one of the railroads, whose their work schedules, they have a horrible extra board. It's similar to ours, but it's you can't pick your days off. You can't pick if it's a midnight or if it's an AM or a PM. Your extra board is all the way around the clock. And sure, you'll get rest, but you know how it is. You have to shift. So they're basically losing their health, losing their families. Their careers are being ruined. So they are speaking up. All right, let's jump to the next part of the class, and that is the organizing portion. So we're using a book called The Secrets of a Successful Organizer. And right now we're in the building a network, you know, type of organizing strategy. In all the previous classes we've done, you can go through this. In the agenda, we have the lessons right there, so you can just follow along, and that's what we'll do here. Last meeting, we started up talking about a follow-up plan. Okay, and 90% of organizing is follow-up. And I know I'm weak at that, you know. It's really hard to do, but especially because all of us, we work full-time jobs. We got families, we got issues. So it's really hard to manage these things, but following up is most of what organizing is about. Agree on the next step and when you'll check back in. So we're talking with coworkers about an issue at work, about unfair working conditions. You know, we have to say, well, what's the next step? What are we going to do about it? And when people are talking, you say, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What do you think we should do about it? Maybe they're going to meet you and on Thursday to deliver a petition. You know, you guys got a petition or something like that. Or maybe you simply promise to report back to see how the meeting went. Remember, you're not just trying to pull off one action. Okay, a lot of us think that, oh, we're gonna call the media or we're gonna go protest or we're gonna do this and then boom, that's it. No, it's actually deeper than that. We are trying to draw people gradually closer to the center, to where we are as organizers, and build a network of communication. And that's why we're doing here, right? We're making this, there's only a couple of us on the call, but the people who aren't on the call, well, they can participate in this for the recording, right? We want to make standing up in an organized way a normal and natural part of the workplace life. So when there's a problem at work, managers giving us a hard time, the hazards are there, there's mice or defective equipment, we have to try to help our coworkers become strong so that fighting back is just a part of the job. So, for example, they say, can you ask Jane to sign this petition? Great. I'll come back at the end of the shift to find out how it went, okay? And they have this little acronym here, AHOY there. AHOY is a helpful acronym regarding what it takes to move people to act. So the first thing is anger. This is an injustice. We have to fix it, right? It's part of agitating, right? We can't just take this. Well, that's just the way it is. No, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Doesn't that suck? Hope. Change is possible. We can fix it. Here's our plan. Now, bringing people a plan is one thing. That's not great, really. We want a democracy, so we want to make a plan with them and discuss it. If they don't want to discuss it, fine. Okay, well, I guess things won't change then. And then we know, move on to the next. The next part is urgency. So now is the time. We can't wait. People say, yeah, that's good. Let's do something. I'll work on it. Maybe I'll wait until the, no, don't wait. Don't wait until the next pick. Don't wait until the next election. Oh, we're gonna vote you, bro. A lot of people say, we're gonna vote you, brother Eric. No, that's not the solution, man. Voting is not the solution. And what are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna put me in there. What am I supposed to do this? Nah, we gotta do this. So don't wait for anything. Don't wait for people or systems to kick in. Don't wait for the judges and the politicians and all this stuff. Now is the time that we fight back. And you, the why part, you can make a difference. So your participation matters. And that's what's important to tell people. Well, no, everything you do, like when April got on earlier before we recorded, she's like, yeah, I got this idea that. I said, oh, great. Well, keep coming. So here's an exercise, some homework. All right. And now we're not going to check any homework here, right? This is for ourselves. Right? But it's up to you to take what you can from this. Write an organizing conversation. Choose a real issue from your own workplace and a possible action that you might organize to address it. Choose a real coworker and imagine you're going to approach him or her about joining you in action. You're going to basically talk to yourself. And we all do this all the time. Some out loud, some silently. You want to cover all the bases of a good organizing conversation. What questions would you ask at each step? Discover the issues. Ask people, how are things at work? How are things here? Oh, does that radio work? Got rodents in here? Wow, it looks like there's some water leaking and there's mold in the ceiling. What's up with that? You know, whatever, and people start talking. Then you start to agitate. Man, that sucks, man. It seems to be all over the place. It's like they don't care about us here. Managers don't give a damn, right? Like, yeah. They start getting pissed off. And we want to lay the blame. Now, right away, we've been trained at the CTA to blame our coworkers. My lazy coworkers, my nasty coworkers. Look at them nasty people, always leaving a mess. I clean it. The next person is nasty. It's terrible. They don't come to work. They're lazy. See, what we want to do, we want to say, wow, yeah. Well, boy, I tell you, when working conditions are this bad, don't you think it's kind of hard to keep people here? Isn't it kind of demoralizing? You come to work and you're told, yeah, just shut up and be happy. Make a plan to win. Say, hey, let's do something then. How about you and I go talk to the manager about this issue? Just the two of us. Oh, really? You think we could do that? Well, let's do it after work. Whatever, before work, something. Let's do a petition. Let's do a report and send a copy to the union office, whatever. Get a commitment from them. And then inoculate and recommit. So inoculate is a fancy organizing term that I'm not fully grasping yet, but it's similar to dealing with people's fear. Okay. So I'm afraid I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to get written up. I don't want to be a target, this kind of thing. And one way to inoculate that is to tell people, look, if you are speaking up at work and you in a union bargain for a workplace like at the CTA and Pace Bus, they can't punish you for bringing up problems about working conditions. Now they could punish you if you're on the clock and you get on Facebook and write an expose with a video while you're on the clock on CTA property. But if you at home, you out there on public shared private public property, there's nothing they can do about that. And then set up a follow-up plan, and that generally is with us as organizers. So everyone on this call, you are an organizer in the Justice Coalition, whether you think you are or not. Just by participating in this, you've become that. So any comments about what I read, any experiences, ideas you want to share, anybody?
Me again, it's April. The fear, it's the fear that really holds us back. You know, and I released federal regulations and rules that CDL drivers are supposed to abide by. You know, I don't know if you went through the process of obtaining your CDL. It's a little rigorous, especially with the physical. And I put information up there to show the members that CTA is breaking the law. You know, and I said that if you're being forced to operate while you're sleepy, that's against the law. People are afraid.
Can I bring that up on the screen? I know you're not, I know you're just on the, you can just hear our voices, but those who have the screen, can I bring that up in your, the document you sent? Can I show that on the screen? Or
Who are you
not?
talking to me?
Yeah, April.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring up that charge, right? I saw that here. Where was it? You help me. It was like the first page, right?
Yeah, it's the first page. Can you tell me again where you where is that? Because I was trying to pull it up. I was trying to get to my computer and I didn't actually get to the link that you said that it was going to be on.
I didn't put this in the agenda.
Okay.
This
Let
is
me
not
pull
in the
it up.
agenda. This is related to it, but I didn't put your documents in the agenda. I took them out, so they're not there. But I'm looking at your labor charge, and in it you talk about the rest, and you talk about the collective bargaining agreement talks about rest between work days and how it's enforced. Is that related?
Yeah.
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 So I have it on screen for people to see. And you're using this, you were sharing this, right? You've shared facts from this with coworkers to try to inoculate them of fear, right? Because you're supposed to be allowed rest, and that's not your commuting time, is what you were saying here. Can you talk more about this?
Yeah, they CTA knowingly hired me with sleep apnea. Matter of fact, I was supposed to, my original badge was 55665.
Wow.
The new badge was 57084. That's how long it took. Concentra put a sleep apnea hold on my pre-employment physical.
Yeah.
And I was set, and I didn't know that until, so I was set to start in August of 2014. Then I got an email from CTA in October saying that that there was a hold, a medical hold, and I needed to clear it up before I could proceed. And it was the sleep apnea. They suspected that I had sleep apnea, and I did. And I had to go through that whole process, and I did. They removed February 2015, and I was hired March 30th, 2015. I was part-time for 2 years. I've always had at least 18 to 20 hours between the shifts. Never had a problem with my shift until I turned over to full-time. And it really wasn't a problem. But this one manager, Gilberto Hernandez, tried to fire me back in September of 2018. And when he got busted trying to fire me, when he saw that I wasn't going to work less than 10 hours between the shifts, he tried it again. So he kept having the clerk schedule me less than 10 hours. That's what I required. And I told him and another manager that I had sleep apnea and that I need, because I lived up north. I live 7900 South, and I worked at Forest Glen. So that commute coming from the airport, I don't care what time of the night it is, that traffic is brutal.
Yep.
So it would take me sometimes an hour to get home and an hour to get back to work.
Yep.
You
The
know,
train
I got to eat.
operators have the same problem.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying. After that young lady fell asleep on the train, they came out with that document, G2614, that we must be well rested, coherent, and healthy to, you know, to provide services to the public. And that you must, and the rules in the general rule book, you have to report your medical condition. I didn't have to report anything because you all knew it. I'm just reminding you that I have sleep apnea.
I brought that up on screen, Exhibit B, what you just cited, so people can see it.
Mm-hmm. So the manager, because he had the power, he just kept doing it. So I went into the sick book because I didn't know at the time, but it started manifesting pain because it was really irritating me that they would not let me sleep. He wouldn't let me sleep. So went to the doctor. The doctor wrote me a note and said that I require 10 hours between shifts. That didn't work. I went to the union, filed a grievance. Woodrow Eland actually called Vincent Vellante and said that they own the rights to the board, and that, you know, told them to move my time down. And he said that he would, but Woodrow told him if they needed to put it in paper, you know, in writing, he would. He's like, no, it's not needed. But on January 7th, those jokers did it again.
Yeah.
But this time, a different manager changed my schedule, and I have pictures of the extra board where it said 5:30, and then on the activity sheet, it showed 7:30. So that indicated a time change. But when I came in after my first half, White, the manager who changed my time, she said that Vellante and Hernandez chewed her ass off for changing my start time, and told her to tell me that CTA will no longer be accommodating with the schedule. So, you know, I'm like, I done asked you, I done called off, I gave you a doctor's note, I filed a grievance, the union talked to you, there was nothing stopping them from firing me. Because, you know, if you get 4 points in the calendar year, you're fired.
Yep.
On the 10th of, so I filed that grievance January 2nd, 2018. All that stuff occurred between November and January 10th. I went and filed a complaint with the ILRB January 10th, and then they stopped. You know, you can see in the testimony of I didn't post the testimonies of CTA's attorneys, but they said that I claimed that they stopped scheduling me. Well, the employee's activity sheet shows that they did. They never scheduled me less than 10 hours after that. And then I went on injured on duty, or not injured on duty. I went back in the sick bay for an unrelated injury. And then I transferred out of there and went to 77. But they were using the policies, and this is where the union screwed up. They agreed to terms that they could not protect me from. And because I didn't uphold that part of the agreement, the 8 hours, Local 241 is in breach.
Wow.
But the contract is not legal; it's not binding, and because we're dealing with corruption, it was being covered up. That's why they haven't been able to get rid of me. It's been 4 years.
Wow.
So I've tried to make my case as strong as I could. I put all the facts in there. What actually is, so since, and then two, when I was part-time, as a condition for employment, before I was hired, I had to sign my rights away and agree that Local 241 can deduct dues from my wages. And I understood that I couldn't benefit from them until after I was full-time.
Wow.
So I was part-time for 2 years. So they took my money for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you continued to take my money and didn't represent me. Also, I wrote a letter to the president, to Dorval, and to the EEO, and called them and emailed them about the issues that I was having at Forest Glen. I wrote that letter in February of 2018. Those jokers didn't respond to me until July 9th, 2018. And the
Yeah, I hear you.
the telling part was the young man that wrote the letter, he said that issue, that my complaint was an issue for the union. So, okay.
Yeah. God, this is terrible.
So, yeah, go ahead.
We gotta move on a little bit here, but
Okay.
I want people to take in what you said and look at this big picture, and that is we are essentially being punished for being human beings. And this ridiculous 8-hour rest is harmful. We need 10, we need 12. We need even 5 days, especially for operators, is too much. It should be 4 days really, and without a cut in pay, because that allows people to rest and they're fully charged and safe and friendly when they're well rested. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the rest period.
Yeah.
When I worked at Pace, we had it in the contract that it was 9 hours in between shifts. Now, I believe since we're represented by the union, they have the right to negotiate the rest periods.
Yep.
Because when I was over there, we did not get a lunch break. We had to work straight through. And I was written up one time for stopping the bus on a deadhead to pick up lunch. When I went to the Illinois Labor Relations Board saying I'm not guaranteed a lunch break, they told me because we're represented by the union, if it's not in the contract, we have no rights.
Wow.
Can I say something to that? Okay, this is analogy. If I contract you, Tom, to carry a controlled substance across state lines, and I pay you, and you back out of it, and I take you to court, who do you think the court is going to side with? They're going to side with you, and you don't have to give me back my money. Taking a controlled substance across state lines, even having a controlled substance, it's illegal. So when you bargain for something, it has to be within the law. So because you bargained for it, and that was one of my arguing points with my case with this judge in Washington, D.C., the contract is not binding because it violates state and federal laws. That's a law. You have to have a break. Is that not right? You have to have a break. Isn't that right? So because they negotiated, yeah, that's illegal. So it seemed like to me that it was a backroom deal done somewhere. You can't uphold it.
The reason I was told was they give me plenty of layover time at the end of the lines. Now they consider that recovery time. You're not guaranteed that time. Like CTA has a designated fallback. A lot of the Pace garages don't have that. The Illinois Labor Relations Board is crooked too because it's run by Bob Garrett, which is a former CTA man.
Yep.
We are we are in Chicago.
Chicago, the corruption, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The corruption.
So did Willette, I think you were trying to say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to say, it was going back a few statements ago, when we were talking about to make a plan, petition, report, and commit and recommit. I had, where I used to work, I think the best thing to do, we had this, the acronym was STAR, STAR. And that was for you get the situation, the task, action, and result. And if you do those 4 things, it will kind of eliminate some of the in-betweens that we have with the CTA, because CTA has never been challenged. They feel they've been doing things so wrong for so long, they even feel they don't feel they're doing any wrong. And we have to step up, stand up, and let them know we're not taking it anymore. That's why together we're better. And we got to let them know there is strength in numbers. That's just not a cliche. So the thing is, once we decide, just like we're doing, with the Justice Coalition, it makes a difference. Some of them are kind of running scared, and some of them don't care. They got a year, 2 years, and they can go. So they don't care. Those of us that's been there or that are still there, those of us have been wrongly let go. It's just not fair to us, and something needs to be done to stop it. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is, you're right. This is what we're doing. I mean, it's just a couple of us. Look at us. You know what I mean? We're just a couple, but we know others, and others are inspired, and there'll be a video. You know what I mean? We just never stop, and we never give up. And every failure is a great opportunity for success. All right.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
One of the things that we need to start doing is making them jokers abide by their contract. There are some flaws in it, but it's still an agreement. Being pulled into the office for a complaint or whatever, you being pulled in the office, there are rules that they're supposed to abide by before they even talk to you. So, when they don't respect the contract and the employees see that, it's like, what's the point? The point is you have to know your rights. Know your rights.
Yes.
Just know your rights.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna put on screen at the Justice Coalition, ChicagoTransitWorker.com. We have a button that says know your rights. And we have tons of stuff in there. Your contract, your bylaws, the grievance forms for 308. We still haven't gotten them for 241. I guess they're still in the Stone Age with that. And we have retiree healthcare trust information, the code of punishment, the corrective action guidelines, the sick book procedure, Illinois labor law, your rights to organize, how to file an unfair labor practice, which you saw we had on screen that Sister April did. We have the ATU Constitution. We have your rights to protest. We have the Bill of Rights for union members, about cameras and punishment, the training pay requirement, everything. And we will add more. If there's things you want on here, make sure you email us at chicagotransitworker@gmail.com. All right, so let's do a report on the membership meetings. Unfortunately, those who attended the meetings, unless Willette, is that Kathy? Kathy, are you on? I see iPhone, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, let me rename you. Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
Introduce yourself real quick, please.
Oh, okay. My name is Kathy Strzelecki. I'm a retired switchman from 308.
Thank you. Okay, Willette, were you at the 308 meeting?
At this last meeting, I didn't make it. I
Okay.
made it the meeting before when they canceled it.
Right.
And, my thing, I know you didn't ask this part, but it's ridiculous. I live like right at Oak Park. I have to get up at 3:30, leave out 5:30 to get there at 6:30. And you cancel a meeting at 7 o'clock, 10 minutes to 7, and I have to work at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So now I've missed my rest and I can't go. And Tuesday, I was exhausted. I go to practically every meeting.
Yeah.
I just could not make it, and I didn't feel bad about it. You know, even though, because this is my thing, I missed one, but my intent is to be at the rest of them for the rest of the year, because I am planning on running for some office, not for sure.
Yeah.
Because I cannot take this any longer.
Yes. And Willette, because of you and all the others that got screwed, we had 24, we had a quorum of 25, 24 people showed up, and the bastards canceled the meeting and said, go home. And they wouldn't answer any questions, right? It was like, I don't have to tell you nothing. There ain't no quorum, right?
That was also at the last meeting I attended.
Yeah, dude, it was twice. So, so because of you all, we did because of your experience, we did a call for civil disobedience, and we're going to be doing it at 241 too. And that is no more. We're not taking this anymore. We are going to stay at the meeting, and you're going to answer our questions. Fine. We can't vote on business. Fine. But you're going to answer our questions, and you're going to give us the reports, because we came to this meeting and we're sick and tired of coming to meetings and then being told, sorry, we're not telling you nothing. So we'll make sure, let's keep people going. I think that call for civil disobedience helped us reach a quorum, because we did get it and we did have a meeting. I got some reports that we're going to spend $50,000 for the roof of that ridiculously large building. That building's a money pit, in my opinion, but whatever. And then at least the bylaw reforms were read. So that means, I'll be right with you, Tom, keep your hand up. Everyone on the call, Willette and everybody, please encourage everyone to go to the June 14th membership meeting for 308, for all the 308 members. You've got to vote yes on these bylaw changes. The first bylaw change is to get rid of the meeting requirement that restricts people from running for office. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, we're getting rid of it. This bylaw reform will get rid of the meeting requirement. It's going to be voted on. So please vote yes. Okay.
Yep, that's a good one.
And we also have one that limits the union officer salaries to their classification. I know you disagree with that, but still show up, vote yes or no. Okay. But the meeting requirement is critical, 308 members. We have to get rid of that. They don't have it in 241. They don't have it in City Hall. You can run for alderman. You don't have to attend City Hall meetings. You can run for judge. You don't have to go sit in jury meetings, jury hearings. You got to do jury, but you don't have to go sit in on court cases. Everything is ridiculous. Why you have to go to these stupid membership meetings on the far south side in order to run for office, and you pay union dues? This is unconscionable, undemocratic. We have to get rid of this. Please vote yes on these things at the June 14th, 308 meeting. Tom, go ahead.
Yes, I was at the 241 meeting.
Yes, give us a report, please.
President Hill was not present. They read the officer reports. There were a few financial questions asked. She did not want to answer them, Ms. Bowers. As they've done for the last 4 meetings that I've gone to, when it gets to new business, one of the executive board motions to adjourn, and they all vote to adjourn against our little 6 or 8 people. So we can't have no business there. What was it? The month before, Andre or somebody wrote the International saying they're not allowing new business. So what they did, the minutes from the month before, they falsified them and took questions that were asked during the officers' reports and made them look like they were asked during new business. We have a member taking the minutes, not Ms. Bowers. It's in her job description, but he takes the minutes, and we paying him $35,000, $36,000 a year for that. Now, as far as the meeting requirements,
Hey, Tom, sorry, real quick. The person taking the minutes, that salary that he's getting paid, that's not in the LM2, right?
no, I
Okay.
don't think so. He
Okay.
may be, I'm not sure. I
Okay.
didn't look.
All right.
But he was never voted to do that. They just appointed him. And they claim they've sent him to financial recording secretary school through the international, which we never voted on. We don't vote on anything because they never let us. And as far as the meeting requirements, we don't have them anymore. We used to until they trusteed the local and brought in that first transit. If you guys want to get rid of that, that's another way to do it, is bring in a private entity into the local.
Yeah, we are private employer, and we can represent them in 308. Yeah, and that'll make us have to have more financial reporting, such as LM2.
Yeah, I got something to discuss later in the meeting, not recorded though.
Okay.
You can move on with the meeting.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead with your question. Go ahead.
Okay, when you don't want to answer, well, statement question. When you don't want to answer questions, simple questions about money, something's going on. And I think, but because I heard what you had just said, Tom, about the meeting, not this meeting, but the same thing kind of occurred the last meeting. Question was being asked about the financials, and they didn't want to answer. Somebody, I think, this is just hearsay, somebody discovered another 100,000 missing.
Yes.
And he was the right and giving us, I think that calls for a criminal investigation.
Well, I'll say this, Ms. Bowers was not present for 2 months. This was her first month back. So they were asking questions of her because the previous 2 months they were asking Keith and Woodrow, and we can't answer that. The financial, she's not here.
Okay.
Yeah, there was over 100,000 that they paid out on something with the healthcare trust and the retiree, the pension. They were reimbursed about $100,000 from the pension board and the healthcare trust board. So it was about $100,000, but they came out an extra $100,000 out of the union treasury that they paid other people that was not supposed to be paid. And we had there was people that were supposed to get paid that didn't get paid. Refunds, that's what it was, refunds.
Yeah,
and what was it, last year? That check came up missing through the mail. It's always money issues with these people at 241, Keith and Woodrow.
Oh man, it's horrible. Thank you. And we must persist. And thank you, Tom, for going. Thank you for being here and reporting this. And we do our best, right? And I think it's best that we never quit, no matter how bad it gets. Okay.
Yeah, I wish Andre and Nicole were out here. They could explain it more. They more know about it.
Yeah, I sent them the Justice Code. They got the same reminders you got, so I hope they're okay. I do wish they were here. I miss them. So those of you might remember one of the local 308 customer assistants, customer service assistant, Brother Sylvester Adams is in jail regarding a shooting of a rider, and it's just a huge mess. And I spoke with a brother who has been helping, been in touch with him regularly, even spoke with him on the phone while in jail. Brother told me he would come on and share with us some updates, but unfortunately he's not able to for some reason. Maybe we'll get in another meeting, but from what he told me, Brother Sylvester is in good spirits. The conditions in the jail are decent. He had no complaints. I don't know. He's in Cook County, so but he has a lot of support. He really appreciates co-workers who support him, and he feels bad about what happened. He's not proud of it at all, but he's definitely he hasn't had his sentence or trial yet, from what I understood. So he's still at Cook County Jail. I think it would be great if we could visit him, or any of us could visit him. I'd love to visit him. It's something we'd have to arrange, but go ahead, Tom.
I was just wondering, has your union put out any kind of a notification about his situation, an official statement?
No, it's like he doesn't even exist. Yeah. Nothing. It's sad. And I would have liked to bring that up at the meeting, but I'm working and it's just a hassle. But maybe I'll be there for the new pick. Go ahead, Willette.
Yeah, with situations like that, that's why the Justice Coalition is here. We're going to have to do that because the union have not showed any apathy or anything for him. And he was a union paying member in good standing. I think it's terrible. So those are things that we have to do. And whatever we can do and get other people to understand. And it is a lot of people that are in support of him. But, the thing is, they don't know anything. So once we find out stuff, we can get more people to become involved as far as that is as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I agree. So May Day, there were some May Day events. I just wanted to share that I did speak at one and did a speech. Kathy, can you just briefly give us a little report? I didn't speak on behalf of the Justice Coalition. I spoke on behalf as myself because, it wasn't anything that we in the Justice Coalition all, agreed on. But at the same time, I did mention our issues were brought up and our issues were mentioned. Go ahead, if you could, Kathy, just give us a little report. Hold your hand there. Hang your hand there, Tom. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, well, one of the things that you said that was so appropriate was that yourself and the members of the Chicago Transit Justice Coalition are making history by organizing to fight back. And, so our May Day March really was about trying to get rid of capitalism and organize for revolution. And, you didn't call for revolution, but we are still making history by trying to, like the speaker said, I think your name is April, said about how if we have a contract, then we should enforce the contract. But the union doesn't do it, and it's hard for the members to do it because people are scared. And May Day was born out of people fighting for the 8-hour day. The police killed them, the bosses killed them. It was a worldwide movement for workers to organize and fight back. And here we are, Oh, well, I don't know how many years later, 100, 200, and
Yep.
the same shit is going on. So we really do have to keep on making history, keep on fighting back, and we will win if we keep on fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at how they keep pitting us against each other. They made all bus operator positions full-time, right? Like immediately off the street. Yet we got on the rail side, we got the customer assistants and flagmen that have been working like almost 10 years. and they're still part-time, you know, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Full-time hours, but part-time benefits and pay.
Yeah, terrible.
It's 100 years ago again. It's 1888, 1887, all over again. Go ahead, Tom.
I just wanted to compliment you and Nicole on that television show, since you're talking about the May Day.
Oh, I didn't put the link for that, did I? No. Yeah, we did. We were on the television show, On the Block. Yeah. and Keith Hill. Yeah, I totally left that out. See, you guys gotta, I'm juggling too much here. I'm dropping stuff. We were on TV talking about our working conditions. Yeah, Nicole and I were speaking on behalf of the Justice Coalition in that regard, talking about the working conditions. I apologize. I didn't even put that in the agenda. Thank you, Tom. All right, so update. I'm just gonna mute everybody. If you want to talk, just unmute yourself. All right, so Sister April, what we're gonna do is I want you to wrap up the meeting. So basically, I think you talked quite a lot about, quite a bit about some of the issues that you've been going through and what you would like to be a part, what kind of change you'd like to be a part of at work. And our priority really is to get you your job back. That would be the best. But before we go to you, I want to pause the recording because Willette has some important information that she wants to talk with just our group. And we got Robert on here too. Robert, he's a wonderful, one of our, just all of us are contributing here at the Justice Coalition, but he does a lot of heavy lifting here. So he's with us too. But Willette, would you like to speak about something? I'll pause the recording. Is that right? Unmute you. Almost got it. We got your video. We just don't have your audio. Oh, there we go.
Okay, two things. First thing, as everyone know that these CSAs.
Hang on. Okay, Willette, tell us some more.
Okay, commenting on the fact that as of last week, managers and supervisors were bringing paperwork through to the stations, whereas every CSA had to sign this form stating, knowing that you got to take 2 weeks vacation. But be mindful, it is not vacation. It's just 2 weeks with approved days off. How can you force anyone to take 2 weeks off when we don't get paid? They give us up to 40 hours. They let you choose that. Then you even had to pick as you were a CSR, not as a CSA. We could not a la carte our, shifts like they do us when you're regular CSA picking for 30 to 32 hours. You had to go straight across, and then on the weekends, the only days you could change that was different. And it's totally unfair because you're still getting the same $17 freaking dollars. And you got people that just came in last year making $15 because that's minimum wage. Like those of us that we're going into 9 years, some already in 9 years, and we're only making $2 more than people that came last year. It's ridiculous. So now you're paying full-time union dues, Okay, you're only making $2 more than people just got in the door.
Mm.
Got employees that came from different departments with the number 4 badge that they put in as CSRs. They don't think we know that. Too many people know too many people. So this way they're doing anything they can, and they think they're getting away with it. You know, I love Cheryl Sistrunk because she investigates and she knows, and this is a fact. She's giving facts because I know the same thing she talks, I know it, and it's a personal thing. It's bad when you can just bring anybody. They get fired. They get fired from the rail. You bring them back. They just got here 2018, 2019, and you ask them if they want CSR position or a janitor. That was never done years ago. It was the fact they put them in a janitorial position because it's full-time already. We've already waited 9 years. Now, when you put these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people ahead of us, that's another 4 or 5 years that we got to wait because people are not retiring. They're not leaving. So the thing is, it's still sitting us right there. And when we go back, if and when we turn over, these 9 years mean absolutely nothing. We're not vested in the company. And in any company, if you work 10 years, you're vested. These 9 years, we go back to day one. And it's shameful. It is really shameful. And now you want to tell it, you gave us the 40 hours. We're only making $17, but we got to pick 2 weeks vacation. 2 weeks approved days off.
So remember, everybody, and Willette, that last year, the only contract proposals we got, CTA, ATU, and in it said, we're asking the CTA to turn over an additional 100 CSAs, right?
Can I stop you right there? Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Don't lose your thought. At one of the meetings, I think about maybe 3 meetings ago, at the 308 meeting, after the meeting, because like I say, I don't like hassles. I got to go to work. So I don't have time for them to debate different things. I went up and I talked to Eric Dixon, and I asked him, I said, Eric, what happened to the 100 CSAs that you were supposed to negotiate for them to turn over? That's not gonna happen. That's how he answered me. And I looked at him, and then he said, they didn't want you here anyway. I said, you know what? The bottom line is, it's not what they wanted. We are here, and we're here to stay. And this is, it's not justice, and you're not being honest. The thing is, it is terrible for you to even address me in that tone. Woo. So then, I had to go to work, but it's shameful. Now, I'm sorry, you can continue.
That's what I was going to ask you about. You read my mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He's
Good.
So arrogant.
Yes.
He's so arrogant. And it would be okay if you was arrogant, smart, and you could answer questions, but you can't answer. You give every time it's time for him to talk, he gives the mic to Mark. He does not state anything. And even though Bob Kelly, I'm sorry, 241, because you probably don't know, but Bob Kelly, when I came in, was president of the union. Bob Kelly is still pulling the strings. Eric Dixon just has the title.
Wow.
So, we're dealing with the old regime. The only people that were not on Bob Kelly's regime was Deborah Lane and Ken Franklin. Okay, so when Ken left office, that only left Deborah Lane, but then Deborah Lane, she wholeheartedly welcomed in, just like she had been there all along. So the thing is, you can't expect change if you don't change. It's the same regime, so you're gonna get the same thing.
Yes.
I used to be at union meetings because I would go to every last one.
Yes.
Bob Kelly would be for something. He said, all the yays. Kathy, you were there. He said, all the yays, raise your hand. And then if they say stand up, they'll count you. You may count 10 people because he for the yays. Then he said all the nays. And you can have 30 people saying nay. He would take his gavel, hit the gavel, and say, yays have it. Right in front of everybody. And I was like, what kind of crap is this? 10 nays, 10 yays and 30 nays. And then he still say the yays have it. So like now, Eric is still he's following those same footsteps, and he's talking to him, I'm sure. And he's doing things that he tells him, because like even with strategy, on the day, on that weekend right before the vote,
Yeah.
Eric Dixon called every single station. And who works overnights at CTA? CSAs, and you got the new ones. They're on the weekends overnight. He called every station, and he didn't know I would be there. So when he got to my station, I answered the phone. He said, "This is Eric Dixon. I'm calling in regards to the union. We're voting on Wednesday, and I want your vote. I'm running for president." He gave me his whole spiel. Then he stated, "Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?" I said, "Well, let Lucas." No, I'm just calling to remind you that to vote. I said, "I know to vote because I'm one of the judges." But lo and behold, and I'm gonna get off after this one. Lo and behold, I was a judge. I normally be at Kimball because that's what Bob Kelly is. I make sure he don't touch anything, and they knew that. So I asked him about Forest Park because I'm out of Forest Park. Okay, they gave me Forest Park the day before the voting. I got a call from Diane. She said, "Well, I'm sorry. They decided to put an executive board member at Forest Park. You won't be able to judge this time. But the next time, whatever they give, I give you something else. You could do this because it handles a week." My man was just like, okay, and I feel in my heart of hearts, they stuffed the ballots because the executive member had somebody were, talking with me, and he took my ballot out my hand. And I think he's not supposed to touch my ballot. He's supposed to just make sure I put it in the box. And so by someone distracting me and I was talking, I thought about it after I left, but it was too late then. But you know what? God sits high and looks low. So all of this stuff they doing, it's going to come to a forefront. We're going to get it. All we got to do, like Kathy stated, we just got to keep at it. If we keep at it, and we're going to grow, we're going to grow, and we're going to know what to do, how to do it, because we're being educated. It's nothing worse than an educated fool or someone uneducated trying to be a leader. This is bad. That's where I am. I'm done.
Thank you. And everybody will and everyone listening, please, the June 14th meeting, show up and vote yes for removing the meeting requirements to run for office. We need to empty that place and replace everyone in there with a Justice Coalition pro-democratic militant base with a slate so that we can become a local that fights. We're not looking for peace anymore. No more labor peace. That's a bunch of BS, everybody. It's BS. June 14th, show up and vote. Other thing, based on what Willette and others say, it's over. The poll is done. The next hour of power is going to be at Midway. And it's going to be on July 29th at 4 p.m. That's a Friday. July 29th at 4 p.m. Friday at Midway. So everybody start talking to coworkers about it. We got to show up. We can't have this bull crap forced vacation, unpaid vacation, forced 40 hours crap, letting every problem. We need to just bring it to the forefront and protest loudly, okay, and speak up against this. All right, so we'll have some flyers, we'll have some events, things, and we're gonna need everybody on the call to help out and get people to show up at this protest. And we'll have speeches and freedom of speech and signs. You can write whatever you want. Sister Cheryl can bring her signs. Anybody can do whatever the hell they want. We're not gonna restrict you. Tom, you had something you wanted to say and you want the recording paused, right? Kathy, hold your hand, Kathy.
Yes.
Okay, let me pause the recording and Kathy. Kathy, go ahead.
Okay, I was wondering, but I think I figured out the answer. Why would the CTA want the CSAs to take 2 weeks off? And force them to take 2 weeks off. Well, then I thought maybe it's a law. If they're going to make them work 40 hours a week, maybe if you're working 40 hours a week, you're allowed, or you need to have a two week so-called vacation? I'm not sure because, why would the CTA do that?
Well, it's crazy because the 2-week vacation has always existed in Article 3.6 of our collective bargaining agreement, as long as the CSAs, as long as I've been working here. And they rarely use it. A lot don't even know about it. But now they're telling them, well, here, pick. So are you forcing them? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God. And then they put it in the TA. So I'm like, why is this in the TA again? Why is this in the TA if it already exists? And maybe it's there because, oh God, it saves them money on the back of the CSAs. It's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right.
Anybody have an insight on that?
I don't have an insight on, why they're doing that. Who knows? But the young lady that was speaking passionately about the managers, the employees being forced to talk to the managers, that's again, that's a divide and conquer. They're playing on people's fears. I have to take this. When they freed the slaves, some saved. So we're working on fear. People are afraid. We need to show them these are your rights. These are your rights. And slowly they'll come around. This because it's a vicious cycle. We have to start in the direction of attacking these people because they're attacking us every day. It's sad. I told Keith we should not have to tap and go see the manager about some bullshit that happened yesterday or the day before or last week. Don't start my day off with that bullshit. Catch me when I come in. So they eat at your mentality, your self-esteem, your confidence. They eat at you so that you are weak and that you're gonna keep your head down low and pray that you don't get called into the office. We need to bring people out of fear. If you fuck with one, you're gonna get them all. I don't know. I know some people may be familiar with this. Back in my day, in the younger days, it would be a family on the block. Nobody knew that it was 50 of them. If you mess with one, you got them all. And that's the way it should be. And we need to understand that. You mess with one of us, you're going to get all of us. So that approach with, and I think that's a strategic tactic that CTA do. Keep calling us in there one by one, one by one, one by one. People don't understand. I know I'm not the only one going through this issue with CTA. And people don't want other people to talk, because you got these cliques over here. You got people who are when I put that information on the website for people to understand that CTA is breaking the law. Keith, one day I was in the office and I told him, he told me my facts are not always straight. Facts are facts and they're undisputed. My facts come from the federal government. So when you have someone telling you that what the federal government is telling you is wrong, he's an op for CTA. Why would you not believe the law? It's right there in black and white. So, it's the fear. We need to get that fear factor under control. That's the bottom line. That's the key. Fear. People don't want, they've drugged me. I've lost everything. They have drugged me. Who wants to go? Who wants to lose their house, their property, a vehicle? Who wants to lose that? Especially people with children. I get it. But I'm not walking away. I'm not. So we need to get that fear under control.
And we're glad you're with us. And we have other organizers. We have another organizer that was fired unjustly, like yourself, and Keith Hill helped manifest that. And And we have another organizer. He's not with us right now, Brother Andre. He's been written up. I mean, they are just terrible. They're just terrible, and we got to fight for each other. We're all under attack. Nicole, there, she's been assaulted by the union president, Hill. You know, it's like, give me a break, man.
Hold on. Physically assaulted?
Yeah.
Now, he laid hands on her.
Yeah, he Nicole might be on the phone or something, but she's talked about it. We've done videos about it too, but yeah, he stuck his little card right at her nose, you know, yelling at her. He was screaming at her. He was, you know how he is.
No, I don't. I've heard stories, but
oh, okay. Yeah, when he gets pissed off at you, especially women, he screams. He gets very angry. Yeah.
I wish that Joker would.
Yeah.
Him and would. I wish they would.
You break their hand, right? So
no.
So let's you know what, Robert's got his hand up, and then I'd like you to wrap it up. Just for the agenda, guys, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we still are calling for a candidate forum. We need people to be on the Justice Coalition slate, okay? And we also have been working with Robert, and we have a draft bylaws and for the Justice Coalition. It's really rough, but the link is in the agenda. Check it out. Help us make this better. Robert, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going.
Oh, hang on, Robert. Robert, hang on. Let's unmute you. Let me unmute you, Robert. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off what the last person talked about. It's a lot of fear in our coworkers, and you know, these fools, these six-figure fools that we got in office, Eric Dixon, Keith Peel, Deborah Lane, Toy Bowers, you know, they're fools. We need to get them out. They want to hide everything. They want to run everything. They don't want to follow the rules when it comes to them, but they want us to follow every rule and SOP. So I hope we can get more of the new people that's coming in involved, the young people. They may have more energy to get involved. They really know what's going on behind the scenes. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Thank you, brother. And hey, you know, let's work with Tom Coangelo and get this this not-for-profit caucus thing straightened out, and with the bylaws too. Thanks for being on the call. April, that's it. We are at the end, so I'd like you to you know, kind of wrap it up for us. And thanks again for being with us.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Anything to advance the working man. I want to, some of what I want to say, I don't want to be made public. Because as you and I discussed prior,
Okay.
they should see what we're doing and not know.
You want me to
what we're
pause
doing.
it right now?
Pause it.
Okay, hang on.
Enjoy
All right.
the holiday.
All right, y'all. Thanks a lot for the meeting. Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Bye.